what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to The Island Viper. Anyway, there was a post that was shared by a friend of mine in a group posing the question of, like, asking your thoughts on a video that he shared. Toy resellers or toy scalpers, is there a difference? I'm not going to go into the person that put out the video. I've got no personal issue with them. Just to preface this video, I have no personal issue with this person who created the video. They own a toy company. It's a successful company, and any interaction that I've ever had with him has been positive. So I have no negative personal experience with him to speak of. I've seen a lot of other people have very negative experiences, but those aren't mine. To address the video, I've talked about this before, about the difference between resellers, flippers, scalpers, collectors, all of that. I just want to get into a couple of hard definitions here, and I mean, these aren't necessarily like textbook definitions. That they're all over the place if you look up the terminology. But a scalper, a person who is scalping a product. Let's look back at, some of you will remember this. Some of you will remember Hurricane Katrina that struck Louisiana and surrounding areas. People were buying up commodities like bottled water and selling them at an inflated rate to make a profit. They were literally buying out all of the stock available and reselling that at a markup to people who needed it. It was something people needed. It was necessary for survival because they had no clean drinking water, and bottled water was the only source that they had for that. And as you know, people can't survive without that. I mean, you know, the same thing could happen with food, with meat, with whatever. If a person or an entity buys up an entire supply of something and resells it to those in need, when it is something they absolutely need for living or survival or whatever, at a markup, that would be considered scalping. The same thing, it happens with concert tickets, although those are a luxury item, just like toys. Not necessary for survival, but you have individuals and entities who will buy out all of the tickets to an event and then try to sell them at a markup to people who want to go. Again, this is a luxury. Is it a shitty practice? Yes, it is. But these are concert tickets and toys. These are luxury items. It's not something necessary for survival. Is it scalping? Yes, it is. You could also look at something along the lines of large real estate corporations and corporate developers buying up all of the vacant land or all of the farmland in an area to develop into housing additions that they will sell at an incredibly inflated price, like right now in the real estate market. You have that happening right here where I live. You have corporate developers that don't even live here in the state buying up large parcels of land to develop into subdivisions with what I consider to be a lot of cracker box built housing that in my opinion is not of the quality that it should be, and they sell these homes at a ridiculously marked up price. I mean, they're just so high. You know, you're paying $250,000-$300,000 for a basic 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, less than 1,500 square foot home on a small lot of land. Toys are a luxury item. You have resellers, which any retailer is a reseller. If you're not buying direct from a factory, if you're not buying direct from the manufacturer of an item, then you are buying from a reseller. There are markups along the way. You have the factory, the producer of the product that sells to distributors, and the distributors sell to the retailers, who are the resellers. So you have a reseller selling to a reseller selling to a consumer. That's the way that this works with most toys. I would be considered a reseller of most toys because the vast majority of stuff that I sell, I buy at wholesale from a distributor who bought it at a marked down price from the manufacturer. They're making a profit, and I would say that I'm making a profit, but on new toys, there's not much room for profit at all. I've given the price breakdowns on some things in previous videos, so I'm sure that if you've watched those, you understand what I'm talking about. I only sell these to help out friends or to drive traffic to other items that I sell, custom items that I sell. But that makes me a reseller. Even though being a retailer, I'm a reseller. A lot of people seem to think that anybody reselling anything is scalping. They're a scalper. That is the term that everyone likes to throw around, so much so that it's pretty much lost its meaning. And what you have is a group of people who white knight on social media posts. They complain, they cry about anybody selling anything new or newer for more than retail. They call them a scalper, and they just go off on their social media posts where they're trying to sell these products. And these people have no intention whatsoever of buying anything. They have no intention whatsoever of like making an offer or trying to negotiate on a price. It's like they're just complaining to complain. Either they have no interest in buying it or they already own it and they're just bitching because someone else is selling something and they don't agree with the price. But hey, you know, that's just opinions, and everyone's entitled to their own. I don't want to get too far off topic here, but scalping is a practice where ultimately a person or entity is purchasing the entire supply of a product. They are keeping the consumer from having access to the product by any means necessary. There are Discord groups specifically for this, with inside information to things that are going up for sale. Back several I actually, you know what, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but I did make a video discussing this. But there are Discord groups and secret Facebook groups where people organize the complete control of a product. One of these things at one point was Ready Set swimming pools from Walmart. They were buying out every single bit of the stock that they possibly could. I mean, they eliminated any stock that consumers would have had access to, and they jacked up the price 2 to 3 times retail. That is scalping. When you and the majority of people who are being accused of being scalpers, they can't afford to control the supply of an entire product line. The vast majority of people cannot afford to do that. That's what a lot of these people going on about scalpers need to wrap their minds around, is the fact that scalping is the control of the supply of a product. And somebody buying 4 or 5 exclusive action figures to keep one for themselves or not and flip for a profit, that's not scalping. If anything, it's flipping. I would guess. I mean, flipping, reselling, whatever. I think those two things kind of go hand in hand. But in the video that I watched, the video that my friend shared, the individual was talking about like a figure that they had produced, and he was upset about how people were flipping this for a profit, and like Okay, well, if you don't want people flipping your product for a profit, then maybe don't make the supply so limited. Don't limit what people can purchase. Don't limit the amount of them that people are allowed to purchase. Like, there's an agreement with the website whenever you purchase figures from the website about flipping and how you'll be, I can't remember all the specifics and I'm not going to pull it up, but basically it's, you agree not to resell their product for a profit. Like, who the fuck are you to determine what I can do or can't do with something that I purchase with my money? Now, they can determine whether or not they want to sell to me in the future, and that's perfectly fine. You can deny service to anyone. But something like that would probably be borderline discrimination, at least in my opinion. I haven't looked into the legality of it, but why does anyone think that something they sell they have control over after it leaves their possession? Like, you're manufacturing a product to sell to people to do whatever they want to do with because it's their property, and you're complaining because they may resell it at more money than they paid for it. If you are missing out on that much money as a manufacturer or a producer of any type of product, if you think you're missing out on money, raise your prices. People will buy it or they won't. Chances are the prices on stuff like that go up much more. People are going to be getting out of the market for most of it. Same thing with 3D prints. Like, if you sell somebody, and then I'll make another video talking about this. I've done one before and ended up taking it down because there was too much controversy with it. But I'm going to make another one. But if you sell your files, then you can't expect anyone to abide by whatever rules you put in place. Like, if you put something out there, it's gonna spread. Like, you know, you can tell them you don't want them selling the files, which, whatever. But to get mad about somebody running a print of a file that you created and selling that print and then getting pissed at it and saying that you want to cut of the money, there's a bunch of people that do that, and it's a ridiculous practice. Absolutely absurd. What entitles you to the material that someone else paid for, the material that they used to make something? And, you know, like I said, this is a topic for another video. But back to the whole resellers versus scalping thing. I don't understand. I've never understood the white knighting for being against the white knighting against quote unquote scalpers. And everyone that is talking about scalpers in this aspect is they're talking about anybody reselling anything for a profit. I mean, where's the line for this? Is there like a year cutoff, or is it the type of product that you're talking about? Because if you look behind me, I mean, these things are like 10, 15 years old. Most of them are. Over on the other wall over there, you have figures that are 30 to 40 years old. Is it scalping to sell those for fair market value? And that's the real kicker right there. Fair market value. I believe that the value and price of a product, regardless of whether it's new or old, is determined by the consumer group. It's determined by those who are purchasing that product. They determine what the value of an item is. You can look at eBay auctions for certain things. Like take Galactus back here behind me. That figure retailed for around $400. It was basically a crowd-funded like dream project, and they're not going to make any more of those. There's a lot of people who love to think that HasLab products are going to be remade as retail, but historically that hasn't happened, and I don't think that it will. That's the whole premise of HasLab, is like, this will never be made at retail, so if you want it, you better get it now. Those, I remember them selling anywhere as high as $1,000 when they first came out, and now they've kind of settled around the $600 mark. For one that's sealed in the shipper, you can get about between $600 and $700. But a sealed figure is going for about $6. Is that scalping? Is it flipping? Is it reselling? Well, it's certainly not scalping, because you're not controlling the entire supply to jack up the price. And it's at a minimum, it's flipping or reselling. But you know, you get into a lot of things with this, with these people, and what that video was talking about. Like, I didn't watch the entire video. I watched part of it, but you know, not necessarily enough to form a solid opinion of what this individual was saying, other than what he was saying about scalping and what he was saying about, you know, the resale of an exclusive action figure. Like, I just don't get, like, if you own a successful company making a product and you're mad about somebody selling your product that you sold to them and they're making a profit, are you not making enough money? Like, if you're not making enough money, jack the price up. Make it so that nobody has room to make any profit off of it, and people will stop doing it. That's really one way to get that to happen, is to just make it so that it's so expensive that there's just no room for anyone else to make a profit. But if they're worth it, people will still practice that. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base on this. I've already went way over the amount of time I wanted to spend talking about it. Got off on too many little tangents and whatnot. Let me know what you think. I know that there's going to be a lot of mixed opinions on this. I believe in a free market. I believe in the consumer base determining the price of something. If a price is too high, don't buy. It's that simple. These are luxury items. Talk about first world problems. Complaining about what somebody sells a toy for. There's a lot of other shit going on in this country and in this world for people to be pissed at. Don't be mad at somebody for trying to make a profit. It's not that anybody's going to be trying to retire. Like, this is such a ridiculous sentiment that I see commented. We're going to retire off toys. Think you're going to get your retirement? No. It has nothing to do with retirement. Jesus Christ. People aren't that stupid. But if I can sell something for a profit and sell enough of them that it's going to either perpetuate my collecting habit or make me have a little bit of extra cash to do something in another aspect of my life, then I'm absolutely going to do it. It's not funding my retirement. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you made it all the way through. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever I post new content. I'll have something new coming up again here soon. Anyway, see y'all soon.